Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Let's hit it. All right. Okay. So, Jake. Okay, let's begin from a couple of months back. Let's say.
Sure.
Yeah. So, how did everything pan out for you to be here? I guess.
Wow. How did everything pan out for me to be here? I was asked to be here.
Oh.
And it came at a tricky moment in my life, in my personal life, where I had to figure some things out in order to get here. Mm-hmm. And it's a far away place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's further than I've ever been in my life, right? I mean, I never would have imagined that I'd be
another
in
side
this
of the
place.
globe.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It really is.
I mean, it's funny because when we were a child,
mm-hmm.
when we used to ask our parents how far is America? And then they used to say, if you go keep on digging a hole, you'll end up in America.
Oh,
and I said,
all the way
that's
down.
far.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. But yeah, so actually it wasn't even a couple of months, Doc.
Oh.
It was a couple of weeks, a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
That they said, hey, go on this trek.
Uh-huh.
And I'm so honored and humbled to be here. But sure, in my personal life, there were a lot of challenges to kind of figure out and make sure that all things were taken care of and
mm-hmm.
that everyone was safe and
right.
and happy with what I was doing. And you know what my kids said? All three of them, the same thing. They all said the same thing, man.
Mm.
They said, you can't not go.
Oh, wow.
You got to go. You got to get there. And my family and my friends were supportive and they said, Jake, don't worry about anything back home because we'll take care of it. And you have something big to do. And it's really incredible just to have the opportunity to meet you guys and be here and
mm-hmm.
experience what we experienced together, man. That was just incredible, wasn't it?
Right. So when they told you oh yeah, please go. How can you not go? And did they know anything about us?
You know what?
And everything,
That's such a good question.
Yeah.
That's such a good question because I mean, we've all heard Nepal.
Yeah.
We've all heard Tibet. A lot of folks maybe don't know geographically where it is located, where we are here now
mm-hmm.
today. But what a cool opportunity for conversation, right? So we got to talk about geographically, at my house, there's a map up on the wall and I got to point out just right where I was going.
Oh.
And, it's wow, right? But I will say this, my daughter, Charlotte, she sent me a text, and a picture of the Nepal flag.
Oh, really?
And she said, Dad, did you know that it's one of the only flags in the world that isn't square or rectangle?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's these triangles. So we found out why.
Oh.
For the mountain peaks.
Yeah.
And for the two different religions that are here and thriving. So it's been an educational opportunity for all of us. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? It's just fantastic conversation.
They might be going through the internet I need to, know something about that place that my dad is going and then
exactly.
maybe give him a head start,
exactly.
just to be sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And she also told me I wasn't even looking for it, Dad. It just came up.
Oh, really?
And it's well, that's how things work sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's
with all this technology, you talk about something and something instantly pops out.
Well, that does happen. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We've been in the village for, a couple of days.
Yeah.
It was incredible. So we got to know each other better along with other guys. Yeah. So what was your, you first came to the hotel and then we saw you guys after, a couple of hours. So what was your impression? You might have some, perception about the place. Okay, it could be this and could be that, or it could be some other things. And then boom, you are here. And then how did all, turn out to be in the beginning?
Sure. So, oh my goodness. I told myself not to have any expectation.
Oh yeah.
Right. And, as we say, you would know, go with the flow kind of a thing. There will be challenges, and there were, and there have
Yeah.
been, and there probably will be more,
Definitely.
and that's okay.
Mm.
And we're all problem solvers, right?
So
So we're going to get through it. So in terms of expectation, I would get to that point in my mind,
yeah,
and I would start to have expectation or thoughts about like what to expect, right?
Mm.
That's the word.
right.
And I would freeze myself, you know, just calm down, stop,
Right.
because there's no way you're ever going to imagine what this is going to be.
Right.
And in fact, as you know, you were up there, I mean, the same as I for the first time ever, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I sent a message to my girlfriend that said, with words I can't possibly tell you how much I love you,
Yeah.
just like these pictures can't possibly show where I am and what's happening right now, right?
Yeah.
And we can get beautiful faces, the kids' faces on camera, and they are beautiful people, sure. But in a picture, you can't feel their presence.
Yeah. Never.
Right? And you felt the same thing.
Similar. Yeah.
You know? So in terms of expectation, that's what I did, was just stop.
Like go with an open mind and
Go
then
with an
like,
open
you
mind.
know, see
Absolutely.
what they has to offer.
Right.
And then how much like can we take in, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Because there are a lot
Yeah.
of things that it's so hard for to like take in, like, you know, but there are a lot of things like coming so rapidly.
Yes.
Right. And then
It
like,
was
you
just
know,
one thing after the other.
yeah.
Of course.
And then like sometimes it's like, there's no enough space to take in, like, or you might like, you know, miss out on something else, you know, and then
right.
it gets,
And even in the moments where you slow down,
yeah.
and you breathe and you take it in and you just like put the phone down because you're taking
Yeah.
pictures all the time or talking to everybody.
Right.
Just stop and breathe. And you know what? I noticed that I would do that on the path
Oh,
from where we were staying,
Oh, you're
me
on
and the
straight to
other
the-
gentleman that went, and up to the school, you know,
Yeah.
because we were kind of down and around,
Right,
very, very short distance
Yeah.
compared to other folks who had to
oh, yeah.
kind of be there. But it was those moments where I would just stop and kind of just, realize as I'm looking at the place that I'm staying
Uh-huh.
and then look up at the school,
Yeah.
because I could see the back end of the school on the hike up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was amazing, right? So it's about perspective,
Yeah.
I think.
So.
It's about where you're standing in the moment.
Mm.
And I would be so honored, as I know you would be, to be able to communicate this in some way to anyone else who would have a heart for the same mission, for the same task.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really the special thing. I would say that, getting to know you and, for some reason, I mean, probably many reasons, we just clicked, brother.
Yeah.
Right?
No, because, do you remember the reeds, the end of that, the field, you know,
Yes.
in front of our kitchen,
Right?
right?
Yep.
So that's, that reeds, that small section of that trees,
Yeah.
like that, it has different energy than all other places, I guess.
Sure.
Right? Because like,
Yep.
you in there with, I think, Amanda, and then like you guys were connecting on different level. Like you guys were talking about your families, like hardships and everything.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then me and Dusty were almost there all the time. Right? And then every now and then Robbie used to come there, right?
Right.
And then like, and then Amanda, I think it's Carly, and Michelle, they were like sitting right next to that reeds like for a very long time, right? And then like you went down the hill to take a picture, like to capture the moment and everything. So
That's right.
I think that reeds had a lot of energy. What do you
Probably,
right?
yeah. It attracted conversation.
Yeah.
And man, that was one of the things that really stood out to me.
Right.
And I think you too, is that there's a connection.
Yeah.
Right. So we're aligned with the mission and the task at hand, and whatever barriers that lie in the way.
Yeah.
And so we connected on a sense that really had some deep purpose.
Right.
You know,
And everything like panned out perfect because you guys finished the job like way ahead that you know you're supposed to. You know, like you're digging holes for, like in almost an hour. You know, like that took like 1.5 days. Like, you know, for other participants.
Yeah.
So, and then like, you know, that's how you had a lot of time to go there, you know, otherwise you'll be digging the whole time.
Right.
And then like, we would not have that time to like, you know, communicate and then, you know, and everything.
Well, I think you raise a good point there, bro, because what you're saying is like, let's get the work done and then connect and then get bigger work done, because there's a lot to discuss about what we do next.
Right.
So this is the task at hand right now. Let's just do it, get it done and move on to more. More.
Right. Cause you know, cause we were there to finish the job, you know, for a number of good reasons.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you know, we can't just hang out, like connect and then like not get the job done. Then it shouldn't make sense. Right.
Yeah.
So we were doing everything, but everything on time. And then like everything, you know, turned out to be just perfect, I guess.
It did.
Right.
So I wonder, you know, I'll ask you the same thing. Like, what were your expectations up there? I know that you came with more than the task at hand. In other words, you came with a purpose that was beyond the calling.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So,
And so, you know, let's talk about that for a second. So we went up there, as you said, we're finishing a project, putting all the finishing touches, connecting it, powering it up. Right. We're talking about a backup system for a school.
Right.
So let's talk about that school, man. Like, did you think that it would be what it was? I mean,
never, like not even 1,000 years. Cause you know, the place that we grew up, like, now it is not considered a remote district, you know. So we studied there till 10th grade, middle school. And then I go there and then I see that school in, you know, that place. And then like, I thought it's gonna be like a couple of huts, you know, and then like, you know, where the kids and
that's
everything,
what I was thinking
right?
too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like, wow. And like, there are very few schools in Kathmandu who has as good infrastructure as they have now.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was really surprised, you know, by, I don't know how it works inside, like, you know, the education system, like how good are the teachers, how many kids are passing every year and all the stats. But when you first take a glance at the school and then everybody will go, wow. I mean, nobody expects that to be in that place.
Right.
Yeah. Never.
It is pretty advanced, right?
Right. Yeah.
And what strikes me is that it's not used yet.
Yeah.
There's a capacity for growth, right? So they've designed a place that can take more.
Yeah.
And so that heart is open for that to happen, right?
Yeah. And what I liked about it is the teachers who are like, you know, the principal or the teachers who are working there, they already realized that. And
sure
then like,
they did.
Yeah. And then like they made sure that, okay, no, this is not it. We are planning big. We are going big.
Right.
We are aiming, you know, the top of the Everest. So right. And then that's how like they got connected with Sanjay. And then like, you know, this is our plan. We are going big in a couple of years or a couple of months. And then we need this backup. So are you able to help us? And then that's how I think everything started, the whole thing. That's how like we got to meet each other and then like, you know, doing this today, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is incredible. This is great. I love this moment. There was a really impactful, minute of the trip for me. And I want to talk about that if you're okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jake.
So, it wasn't even you because you were busy. You were taking care of the villagers that you invited to come up and speak with and talk to and consult as a doctor and a caretaker. And, I can tell you that, to see that and your sacrifice, because you could have just been hanging out drinking tea. You know,
that's the only job description that I have. Like, let's go there, hang out, drink as much tea as you want, and then like make sure everybody is okay when make sure everybody comes back in one piece.
Right.
You're right.
Bring us back safe.
That's the only they assigned me.
Yes. Yeah. They assigned me too. They did. I mean, and that's we were assigned to this conversation.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't. This is the first time for both of us, right?
Yeah.
We've never done this before, so
there's a studio right here that Dusty had like, you know, 50, 60 podcasts here. And like, I'm always here and there. Like sometimes I'm like making tea, bringing up to him, like, or they run out of water. I take like a couple of bottles of water to them. And then there is always something going on. And then like, I never, like he constantly approaches me like, let's do this, you know, like, let's talk about your field. Like, let's talk about the medical field, you know, because there are very few podcasts or like, so I mean, people will get to know the real situation. Like, let's talk about you. Like, how are you, you know, dealing with all the, you know, health situations in the country and everything. But then like, I always felt like, we should do it, you know, but like, not right now, you know, like I don't. It wasn't the right time. Yeah. Like, I don't feel like I'm ready to, you know, take everything out on a mic. Well,
you're ready now.
Yeah, I guess
we're doing it. I'm ready now. You're ready now. Yeah. We're doing it.
Yeah, and this is that's perfect. That's perfect.
So I was asked by some of our team. They said, "Does anybody have any ibuprofen or antihistamine?"
Priya. Like
she did,
she came to me and then like, doc, do you need like tea or water or coffee? Anything?
She came to you to ask if you needed anything.
And then I said, I mean like, a cup of water, you know. And then she came to me with a cup of water, and then by the time we had like around more than 50 patients already, and then like,
you had a line, man.
Yeah, and then you know we ran out of all the medications, you know. We were hoping like 25, 30 patients because it was, you know, not a dense. Village, right? There were like only a couple of houses here and there. So we figured, okay, this might cover it. But turns out like, so all the mountains all the hills we were seeing around. So people from all those places came and then like,
and they traveled as many hours as it took to hike to get there.
Yeah, sure, right, yeah. And then so it's like, I asked Priya, like, if you guys have any medications that you have, like you go ask around, like, and then get everything they have.
Yes.
Right. And then, so she went around and then like a couple of minutes later, you joined us. And then like, because I was still seeing the patients and then there were no medications to give them. So I asked them like, please wait here for a while. You're going to get some international medications today.
Wow.
So you have to be like
international medications.
International, you know, we're not going local. We're going international now.
Oh, wow.
And then, the elderly people, they waited for around 5 to 10 minutes, you know, for you to go back to your homestay, get all the medications. And then Priya had some, and then Dana came up with a bag. And I made sure that everybody, you know, like, cause you are going to, you know, not use those medications anymore, I guess, cause that was our like last day in the village. So everybody was doing great. And then like, you know, let's keep one for yourself or like 1 or 2 for you guys. Bring everything.
Yeah. Bring everything.
Yeah. We finished all of those, you know, and then like,
wow.
Yeah. It was an incredible moment to get you guys involved also, you know, cause, I do that all the time, wherever, in every trek that we go, we always do that. It's not a big deal for us.
Are you saying you always run out though?
We always run out.
You always run out.
We always run out. And then this was the first time that, because in other treks, like, you know, I'm seeing patients at this location and then you guys will be working over there. And then like, we never had that, you know, that communication, like, you know, and then like in the evening, we served like 50, 60 patients and like, oh, that's great. Wow. How was it and everything? But like, we were not really connected. Like you would not be seeing me doing that. So, but this time, like, you guys were all the time around, right? So, and then, like, you saw, and then, like, you know, you guys wanted to see how it's going. And then that's how, like, okay, oh, well, get your stuffs here, right now, you know, so that, you know, we could, you know.
Bring it.
Yeah, bring it.
Because they're going to have to go back home.
Yeah, right.
And so let's get it in time. Yeah. Man, Doc, listen, this is the deal. That was the moment for me on this trip, on this trek. Was when you needed something as simple and easily accessible for us back in the States as ibuprofen and antihistamines.
Or Tylenol and...
Tylenol, whatever medication. I mean, it's on every store shelf.
It's everywhere. Just go there by, you know...
Yeah, I mean, so... And the amount of effort and money that it took me to get that, to put in my bag in case I needed it for myself.
Yeah.
And then to hear that it was necessary for the health and well-being and care for those folks was the moment that was most impactful to me, man.
Wow,
I did. I had an emotional moment about that.
Uh-huh.
And I realized at that moment in time how I felt like I was on a different planet, not just on the other side of the world, man.
Right.
You know, I felt like I was in some very foreign place because of the disparity about what I'm concerned about, and what they're concerned about, what will enhance or even provide for my life, and then what they need that they don't even know that they need.
Yeah.
You told me, like, Doc, you told me, you said a lot of these people have never even seen a doctor ever in their lives before.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's
what
incredible.
they told me. And then like, it was a very beautiful moment for me as well, because, you know, I keep doing these things and then like, you know, but then I never have the, you know, the energy or the time to reflect on these things, because it's like, you know,
right,
this is what I do. And then like, you know, what's the big deal about it, you know? But then sometimes, you know, like you guys got involved last time, and then like, we've been talking a lot about, you know, the villagers and everything. And then, and then like, I've been hearing a lot. And then now I am, you know, like realizing it, like, yeah, I mean, we pretty much did a fantastic job. And then I was really happy to get you guys involved. And then like, you know, it makes more sense to you now that, you know, you were able to contribute to that, because, you know, it always makes more sense if you are involved, right?
Absolutely.
Like somebody is doing a great job, like in every corner of the world. But like, you know, even if you see it in the news, like, does it make like you can sometimes you can't connect to that, because you know, you were not involved, but you can acknowledge it. Wow, that's a great thing, right? Like, wow, they did a great job. But you know, you can't still feel the emotion because, you know, you were not a part of it, right?
Yes.
So the same thing happened to you guys. Like, you were a part of what I was doing, and then like it made more sense to you. And then the way you are saying it is like, oh wow, like we really did. Like now it makes more sense to me too, right?
It does.
So it was a fantastic moment. The way you said it, and then like, okay, I'm having flashbacks. And, oh yeah,
of course,
like, we perfect. We did try our best.
I think we made an impact, and I think that impact is immeasurable. First of all, just like you can't take a picture on the top of that mountain without, you know, you can't capture, you know, what a human eye can see.
Sure,
it's just an image.
Yeah.
But the indelible mark, that the feelings and the emotions and the interactions and the conversations that we had with those, and you know what, man, it was so funny because there were conversations that were had that we didn't speak the same language at all. Right. But I knew what they were saying, and they knew what I was saying. Because we could feel each other.
Exactly,
you know, we could feel like the vibe of the moment, and it was all relevant. And it all meant something to each other, right? So that's an interesting perspective, because there really is no way to capture the impact that this has, not only on the volunteer or the caretaker like you, or the staff, our kitchen staff, who was there, did an incredible job to keep us all fed, and all the tea. We drank that tea, man, like it was nothing.
Like we never run out of tea.
No, we did not.
Like every time I go, like we are always out of tea. And then like I even went, you know, I talked to like Priya.
Yes.
Priya, what's happening? Like we never run out of tea. And then like every time I go to fetch a cup of tea, like we're out of tea. And like, maybe it's your fault. And like Priya said, could be, like I've been drinking quite a lot. And then like on last day, I was counting like the cups that I had. And
that
then,
you were
like,
drinking,
and then like I asked Priya, like, what's the count today? And it's like, it's my 7th, and like, oh boy, it's my 10th. So I think we both are, you know, responsible for, you know, the tea to disappear, I guess.
Excuse me, but we needed all that energy, though.
Right?
I mean, there was a lot going on, man. It didn't stop. And every moment that we had, there was something more.
Right. And then like, it's like, you know, we had like those special moments with like everybody. Were having those moments with almost everybody.
Sure.
You know, because they were like, you know, everybody were, you know, standing somewhere or sitting somewhere with a cup of tea, and then like, you know, talking, you know, their talks, you know.
Yeah.
And then you could sense that, like, you know, if you just look around, the school, and then like, you could always see people like, somebody's talking to the kids, like Dana was dancing with the kids.
Yeah, I remember. So we were late for a certain meeting that we had because Dana was up there dancing with the kids. And I told her, I said, Dana, don't worry about that. Like that's the perfect thing you should be doing in that moment. We can wait. It's fine. We got time.
And then she actually rushed down.
Exactly.
We were gonna do the, what do you say? A quick review of what we did, and then like,
kind of a recap.
Yeah. He was going to give you all the details, the technical details and everything, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Not as important as that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we got it.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, we were ahead of schedule, right?
Right. So we were always.
Yeah.
We had plenty of time to stroll around, and then,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
What's interesting too is being here in Kathmandu is kind of a separate mission than the mission we went on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So being here and getting to know you, I'm at your home right now.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing this. This is incredible, right? But even the cab ride over here, I'm being told about the poverty.
Yeah.
And the situation where we've got a lot of folks that want to work so bad. Mm-hmm. And he said, the cab driver said to me, the jobs are being stolen from them.
Mm.
And the opportunity, there's no industry here.
Yeah.
There's no, we have a chicken farm right next door, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. But for as many people are here, we don't have enough work, he said to me.
Right.
There's not enough jobs.
I mean, we have jobs, but they are well underpaid,
Oh, underpaid.
So underpaid. Yeah. And then, I could work, but that's not even, enough, for me to feed myself, like, 2 meals a day, So what's the point of doing that job if, I'm not able to feed myself, let alone take care of the family, or your kids, your schooling and everything, right? So it's a sad part, there's like whole lot going on here. We could talk about that like for the rest of the year.
Yes,
but
correct. Yeah, we could.
But they always, come out good, I guess. They always find a way. People always find a way, be it a hard way or easier way, right? But like we have come a long way, I guess, as a community, as a nation. They are trying to figure out things. They are trying to make it better. But you know how it works, right?
I do.
I mean,
of course.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, what that brought out in the people who are coming here, whether they were asked to, or they received the opportunity for whatever reason, they're understanding that tenacity, as we say, or the perseverance to make sure that they get to that point that they want to meeting goals, right?
Yeah.
So as human beings, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
We're just going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so seeing this whole environment and this culture and as we were having tea earlier, you said, this is the hood, man. Like this is, Doc, you were like, hey, here's where we play football and basketball and here's where we drink tea and this is where we live. This is the hood.
Yeah,
you just make it happen.
Did you think that it has actual hood? Because no,
it was no different. That's the thing. It was no different than down in the city,
right?
In the heart of it. Yeah, no, it's all the same to me. I mean, for me, I don't know the difference, but there's probably reasons you say that it's the hood. I mean, I don't want to know them.
We keep hearing this phrase, like a lot of times, because a hood is like the coolest place, like for the people who live there, like, there's cool, no better place to be than their hood, so.
Yeah. Well, your neighborhood, that's your neighbors. It's
there's no better place to be than here.
Love it.
Yeah. So we could have gone to there are a lot of sightseeing in Kathmandu,
sure,
that you guys won't be able to, go at this time. Right.
Right.
So, and then, we figured, I mean, this is a pretty cool place. Why not just, call you out here and then hang out here for a bit or something
and take advantage of it so that we can share what we experienced. Right.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's really incredible. You and I, so let's talk about this for a second. I can't believe, I told you this the other night. I will go home. You're going to come visit me in the States here in a couple months, right? And we'll talk about why you have to be in the States here in a minute. But for now, we became brothers, didn't we?
Yeah. This is, yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Yeah. Yeah, that to me was a pretty special moment, Doc, because I think that it shows at least me and yourself and others around us that it's about the heart of the mission, the heart of the task.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of little tasks to make sure that we can affect change and bring value and provide good.
Yeah.
And in fact, change generations. A lot of people back home will ask me, you could do the same effort here in your neighborhood, in your own city.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
so why wouldn't you? And I will say to them that the impact here with the same amount of money, effort, and energy, we can do good all over the world.
Right.
Right. And quite literally, we're doing, if we decide to, if we're called to, if we're asked to, if we're willing.
Yeah.
For a moment there, I wasn't sure I was able.
Yeah.
So if we're willing and able,
yeah,
then we can go affect change in very remote places of the world that will affect their kids' kids.
Yeah. We're not just feeding them for like, we're not giving them a one night's meal,
right.
you know.
Right.
Right. Yeah. We are talking big, you know, it's bigger than, you know,
right.
You know, just sustaining for a day or living, you know, a couple of days more, you know, but we are, we are trying to change the generations. And then, I guess we did a pretty good job out there. Yeah. And then the kids going to remember you guys for a very, very long time.
Yeah, they will.
I mean, I believe they weren't able to take a lot of pictures with you or anything.
We got a few. They got their phones, man.
But then, the impact you had for them, you know, because
oh goodness,
should be an amazing experience for them too, and for the teachers too. They were like, they were very energetic. They were trying their best to make it as big as possible for you guys, at least, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, and we felt that, and that hospitality, that shared gratitude.
Yeah.
Right. So we're all gracious, and we're all kind about what good people do to us and for us. But the fact that we could combine all those efforts and make what we made happen up there. A lot of things had to come together, right?
Yeah, sure.
So many different elements.
Right,
I mean, we're talking about the amount of propane or fuel that they needed just to cook the meals,
right,
for all the team.
Yeah.
The pictures that they did beforehand and framed and stamped with.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. The program that they put together for us.
Most of the pictures were like actually drawn by the kids and everything.
Fantastic. Just incredible.
So, like the difficult one were like drawn by Subhatra Didi, but then like they ended up coloring or, you know, so in one or other way, like the pictures that you got, guys, like the kids were involved one in other way.
Sure.
So,
and they leave that with us, right?
Yeah.
And then we leave them with a system that's going to back them up.
Yeah.
And make sure that they don't go dark.
Yeah. And then you got like one of the best pictures. I'm always looking for like, who gets that picture? And then like it was you this time, like the eyes of, you know, Buddha.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So that's one of, you know, like I really admire that, you know, it adds a different energy. Like, you know, just like Alok Dai said, while you guys were, you know, going around the monkey temples,
right.
And like he was talking a lot about those eyes, you know, all those 11 layers of the steps and
they're
everything.
very prominent.
Yeah.
So front and center kind of thing.
Because you know something about it, and then like you have a picture now, so it makes more sense to you now.
It does.
So because
oh my goodness,
it's almost right. Because every trek, it's most of the treks, the heritage tour is the same temple, and that's why I would like, you know, like, okay, who is going to get that picture, and then like it was you, because you know you can go back and then explain the picture to your kids, like, okay, this is this, you know, so you went to this, and then there are like the myth said something else, and then like, you know, how it all came out came together in Soembu and everything, because you know the story to tell the kids,
Exactly.
right? It's just not a picture to hang on the wall. You know the
Oh, my
story
goodness,
behind
yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
And then you can relate even more with the kids or the Subhadra Didi who did all the hard work.
That's right.
Like the paper is a recycled paper
Yes,
from like,
right.
you know, all the
And
waste
they're being
papers.
taught how to do that and
right.
how to use waste,
Right.
you know, how to recycle
Yeah.
and reuse. And
So every
yeah.
details in
Oh my
that,
gosh,
is you know, you can talk like an hours about
for sure.
small, you know, a frame, right?
exactly.
So that's
One tiny little piece. And it was, I guess the one that I should have got, right?
yeah. I think you are the perfect person to receive that, you know.
Well, it was, it is an honor. And I don't mean that. What I mean is that, there are different messages that were given to each of us in each of those pieces of art that we received. I guarantee for each of us, you know, for one, it was like, wow, how did who know that she should have received the picture of the flower?
Yeah.
Or how did anyone know that they should receive the mountain with the flag? The celebration flag, you know?
Exactly.
It was really special to see that, how it was just like, here you go. And somehow this speaks to you, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it also talks about the experience that we had.
Yeah.
It meant something the same for each of us, but something very, very different and unique.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, we all got motivation and we all got fired up about, and we're all going to go back to our homes and our families, and we're going to talk about this for many weeks and months.
Yeah.
And then as it happens, that tends to kind of fizzle out.
Yeah.
And so what I want to ensure and what I want to make, you know, certain with you and your friends is that this mission continues, right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of challenges being up here. It's expensive. There are politics.
Yeah.
You know, there's all kinds of barriers in the way to continue what we're doing up here. But, you know, what do you think is the biggest thing that we could adjust or change to make a bigger impact, Dom?
Yeah. Yeah. Apart from everything that you just said, right? It is challenging, you know, helping people, like changing their lives for good, you know.
Right.
It's the toughest work, toughest job in the world. Like, you know, you can go like make a corporate office like 10 times richer than they were yesterday.
Sure.
Come back home, you know, with a bank balance and then like just live your life, you know. That's easy. I mean, at least like if we compare to this, you know.
Yeah.
Because you are changing, you know, the whole village life. You are teaching them to live a life that they are not used to.
Right.
You know, like we are actually getting them out of their comfort zone.
You know what's funny that you say this? It was Melissa's birthday. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so we got to, the kitchen staff made her a buckwheat cake.
Oh my God. That's the worst cake I ever tasted, but it made more sense there.
Yeah, sure. But I was told that a lot of those kids, they don't even know what a birthday party is.
Yeah. I mean, they have never tasted a cake, to be sure. Like, yeah.
Wow.
It was a great cake. I completely love the idea. Like people were running around to look for like candle.
And we didn't find candles, but we had incense, right? We burned some incense. And then the topping on it, the decorations they sliced up bananas to say happy birthday, happy B-Day or BD, happy BD.
Yeah. DIY,
fantastic.
Perfect DIY.
Oh my gosh. I know, of course, she's never going to forget that day.
Yeah, sure,
I mean, what birthday can top that, right? But just to see their joy. I mean, there were kids there dancing for like 6 hours.
No, actually the principal had to like stop them.
Really?
Because they told us like it was the first time like the school had a party like this, like, you know.
Really?
They haven't done, you know, the official inauguration and everything yet. But even if they do the inauguration, the kids won't be allowed to do the things that they love, like, you know, what they did with us, because, you know, there are all the restrictions when there are teachers, right? They always, you know, try to
regimented. They
right.
Want to make a schedule and stuff like that.
Even the teachers were not, you know, able to have those restrictions in our presence, you know, because they were doing it with us, and then like they couldn't just come to us and then like, you know, tell us not to do that, this and that, you know, because they figure out, they get to do this one day, and then
Right.
why not just leave them to it? I
Well,
guess.
I'm sure he was thinking they're going to leave tomorrow, so we'll let
See
them
about
keep
that.
going until we can't.
Yeah.
It's time to go to bed, guys. Yeah. No,
We were pretty late, like almost like midnight.
it was great.
And they went for dinner. Like they were gone for like half an hour.
Yep, I noticed
and then
that
they
too,
came
yeah.
back energized.
Yeah, they're like, we got fueled up. We're
Yeah,
gonna go dance
yeah.
more. Yeah,
And then it got wild. It got wild.
It did, man. It
wild.
got the dance off.
Yeah,
the
dance
girls
off,
and the
right?
boys
Oh.
and going back and forth. It
Right?
was just amazing, and that's the celebration point, right? It's very sad. All the facts that stack up against all the people here.
Right.
It is very sad. But what I'm noticing is that there's so much hope,
Yeah.
right? There's a hope that we're going to continue this effort and this mission.
Mm-hmm.
And as a lot of us travelers from so far away, as you said before, took to get here, you know, we had to take many flights.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of hours, and it seems like it's kind of ridiculous what that looks like to get here.
Right.
But it's also ridiculous to watch kids. We were coming back from that hike, Doc, right?
Yeah.
And I asked you, I said, can you ask those students how long it took them to get here? And you
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And you said what? It was like an hour, right?
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Just to hike up. And then they got to go home.
Yeah. Sure. And they were here. They are there because they were studying. Like the school was closed that day. We had a public holiday or something.
Okay, yeah.
That day. And then the teacher
Was that the full moon day you're talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But then they still showed up because they knew that we would have a program there, to celebrate the installation and everything. So
Right.
they actually showed up for that because they did not need to be there. It was a holiday.
That's why they were playing so much ball.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's just a ball.
Yeah.
It is just a ball, and it brings them so much joy.
Yeah. Right.
Who was it that brought up like 2 or 3 balls?
No,
right?
because on the first day, because we play football all the time and then
Sure.
soccer, and then everywhere we go, like we always take football or volleyball with us, and then like we try to get the kids involved,
Yeah.
And then we go there, and then like, okay, so somebody were supposed to bring the ball, but they didn't.
Oh,
and
boy.
then we have a football that's like half torn, so we have to patch a sticker.
I did notice one of the boys. He was trying
right,
to, yeah,
right.
I did.
And then like Dusty didn't like it at all. Like, what? I mean, what is this? Kids don't have a football. They play like really good.
Mhm.
And then like, this is not done. And then like he immediately called Sanjay.
Yeah.
So like, we are playing a passed off ball and they need like, they need football. All right. And then
Wow.
like, I mean, it was not a surprise for us. Like Sanjay does that.
Sure. He does,
He is
of
like
course.
a emotional fool, but a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
And
Sure.
then
yeah.
the next day he shows up with like 3 footballs, 1 volleyball on a motorbike.
Wow. On his back, probably.
Yeah, on his back. Yeah. So it's
It's just
that's
incredible.
Yeah. And they were really happy. And then the next day we got another football, when our driver, Golfutar, came back with his jeep. We
Yeah.
had one more. So we said, okay, so this is only for girls.
Oh,
Because you
there you
guys
go.
won't be, you guys will take everything.
Yeah,
Right,
they're gonna make sure it gets used.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the girls will be gentle.
Yeah,
Maybe.
exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
this is for the girls. And then
That's
like, they're
awesome.
really happy to receive it though. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's just a football, but it's a big deal.
Well, and that,
sometimes.
like you just said, Doc, I mean, you say just a football.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just ibuprofen
Yeah.
that at home you get at the dollar store.
Yeah.
It's like people at home pop it like candy. Like it's no big deal.
Right, yeah.
And then it's life changing and important to the folks up here.
Yeah.
And that bringing it back to what I was saying before with those medications was so impactful
Yeah.
because it is just a ball.
Yeah.
It is just a pill. But the meaning for it up here
Yeah.
for them is so much different than for people who take for granted
Right. Yeah.
all the
Sure,
other
sure.
things that
Yeah,
are
sure,
happening in their
sure.
lives,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you think that, what do you think is the biggest need? What do we need to make sure that we fix so that we can continue this work?
Yeah.
I know I don't mean to challenge you with questions here, but
no, so sure. I totally get it. There's nothing much to fix, I guess. You just, like there are a lot of people who are willing to like change the world.
Sure.
They really want to have an impact. So we just need to get those people on board, you know, like, hey guys, we did this last year and then we are trying to do a couple of more this year or something. And then like, you know, are you willing? So like if you are willing to do something, you always find a way to do it, right?
Right.
If you are like
that is
really,
true.
if you put your heart into it, you know, you always find a way.
Well, it's kind of like the task we had up there is like, do we get it done?
Yeah. Like
we're going to get it done.
Yeah. We wanted to get it done because it was important, and somehow we finished it way earlier than we were supposed to. I think it's the drive. It's the drive, you know.
So the drive. So so what you're saying is we should motivate, maybe motivate better. Yeah, motivate better, but share the experience.
Exactly,
probably.
Share the experience, and then like the people who are out there who share the same experience with you will like, come looking for you, I guess. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because you can't force somebody to do anything, right? So you just say, okay, we went there, we did this, and then like, and this is how we are trying to change the world, you know, but one step at a time, you know. So somebody will look at that and then like, wow, they did a great job, and then I would like to be a part of it, you know, like, but I don't know how, so let me, you know, talk to them. So it's as simple as that, because there are a lot of people who would, you know, like to be involved in such projects, you know.
Sure.
Like a lot of them, like a lot of us, you know, like, we did a great job, but it's so fulfilling for our soul. Right. Like just to fulfill your soul, just to, you know, have that acknowledgement that, okay, like I am doing something good out in the world, you know, like a lot of the people would like to have that feeling, you know.
Sure, they would.
At least once in a lifetime, you know, like, I mean, my life was great, but then, you know, I did this. Yeah. It makes it like.
And then all of a sudden, the whole perspective changes. Right? Yeah, it does.
You guys are like immortalized in that school now, you know, like you will be remembered for generations.
And they for us too. Yeah. Like it's reciprocal. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. It goes back and forth. Yeah.
So I think, we don't need any plans or any agendas, but, you know, just let the world know what we are doing. And then like the like-minded people will find their way. Sure. You know, be it with us or be it with anybody else, you know. I think that's how it should work, you know.
It should work that way. And it's funny because on the flight from New York to Qatar, I sat next to Dana and behind Jim. And I hadn't met either of them before. And so of course, really quickly, you know, we found out who each other are. And Dana and I had a conversation on that long flight. And many conversations, in fact. But she told me something that was really impactful to me. And she said, it's like a pebble in a pond is what she says. A pebble, you drop a pebble in a pond, and that pebble drop will create the ripples all the way to the edge of that pond. All the way to the edge. And I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's the exact thing.
Is those kids are never we're indelible in their memory. And what they provided to us is indelible in our memory. I think that what's important is that we take that home with us.
Yeah.
And probably some of my family and friends are going to get a little bit annoyed, right? You know, and you too, like, oh, look at this picture. Well, you showed me that already, Doc. Like I saw that one like 5 times. No, but this is like 10 feet higher than the last one.
Yeah.
So I think that spreading that passion and that mission and that vision for good and betterment and improvement and innovation, right?
Right.
So it's like, okay, we know we have a hill to climb. Right. Like literally, you know, we've got the Jeeps and we stopped at one point and the hood was up and a few of us were like, oh, I hope that's not a bad sign. You know, the hood's up there looking at the engine. I hope we make it down the hill, right? And so sometimes that's just where it comes from is the whole idea of like, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
and spreading the message and the vision of the impactful change that we can make for generations. When we were having tea earlier down in the neighborhood, and I was hearing about missions that you guys have gone on and treks that you have gone on, longer distance, of course, and for more duration of time.
Definitely.
I mean, burning cow patties for energy, where if we could make it up that far, it changes hundreds of different folks' lives.
Yeah.
But more importantly, generations that follow.
Yeah.
Because they won't have to worry about what energy they need to burn to make dinner.
Right.
They can focus on, they won't have to worry about it being dark for many hours at night. They can turn on a light and the kids can study.
Right.
The kids can work and learn something new that they wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn if they didn't have a light.
Right.
Just a light. They don't have candles up there.
Yeah, it's so simple.
It is so simple.
Yeah, yet so complicated.
Yet so
because we haven't been able to do that there
Right.
yet. Like neither the government nor any other organizations
Right.
have been able to, figure out,
Yeah.
or at least have that insight to, do something in that place. But it's sad sometimes.
It is sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. And the other night when we were kind of debriefing with the team, we were asked, define poverty.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, so last night, right? Yeah.
And I think it was Robbie who was saying probably the most poignant thing said, which is poverty isn't just money.
Yeah.
It's physical and it's spiritual.
Spiritual?
It is where there's a void.
Yeah.
And in fact, these folks, these kids up here don't necessarily experience poverty that we would define.
Yeah, sure.
Because they do have fresh air.
Yeah.
It's the freshest, he said pure air.
Pure
and then he
air.
said they have fresh water. It's pure water.
Yeah.
So they have air and water and there's food.
Yeah. And they have a house to live.
They have a house to live. They have a school now. Right? They have the structure. They have the power now.
Yeah.
But by our definition as, for example, Americans, is they are impoverished.
Yeah.
They are in poverty.
Yeah.
But they're not unhappy.
No. That's two separate things.
It is two separate things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their hearts are happy. Their souls are rejoicing in all the goodness.
You can totally tell that by
you can. That's why I'm saying it, because it's just, it's tangible.
Yeah.
You can almost like touch it and feel it. It's like, it's in the air.
Yeah.
For sure.
When it comes to healthcare facility, they are, they are having a hard time. But other than that, I mean, they were doing just fine, So, it all comes down to perspective, like where you are, what are your limitations, what facilities you got in, and the way you look at everything in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned before, a lot of those people had never seen a doctor.
Yeah.
So it really, to them in their lives, it wouldn't have made a much difference for them to meet you or not.
Yeah.
But it does.
It does now, right?
It does, because it's possible.
Yeah. And then one other accomplishment, like we were able to create a ripple effect in the village. Because the next day, the principal comes to me in the morning and then tells me that he took my contacts, and then he tells me that because they took a lot of pictures while we were like taking the patients and everything, and then like he said like they are gonna take those pictures, go to the municipality office, rural municipality office, and then like they're gonna show it that like we had like, a couple of hour health camp, and then, like these many people showed up. So I think we need to do these often, at least like once a month. Probably in the same school, so that everybody around the village could come and like take the benefit of it. Wow! Yeah. So and then he will be in touch. We'll be in touch, and then once he figures out everything with the local government, I told like you don't have to pay me or nothing. Like make sure we have enough medications. Yeah. We make sure of that. Other than that, I'm happy to come and help, every once in a while. That's not a big deal. Right. It will be a vacation for us, get some fresh air, go around the village and everything. So I hope we were able to do that too, because now, they thought, you could do that only in a hospital. So, but, you can always do whatever at your parish in those settings too. So, and they're like, oh, we could do this often, let's see.
Sure.
Like, if it's a serious condition, we'll send them to, the nearest healthcare center. If not, then, we could continue doing this. And then, like, it would be like giving them awareness education, okay, this is how this happens, try to avoid this and that, so we could aware them at the same time. Like, we could screen them for a lot of diseases and everything. So, yeah, we were able to create that ripple effect. And then I hope they continue to do it, like with or without me, so that, people there do,
So when it comes to the like you said, the medication, the supplies so for anyone who might be listening to this conversation ever in the future, right? What could they do? I mean, aside from sending a check, sending money, right?
Yeah. For me, they are the go-to guys like Dusty, and Sanjay.
Of course.
Yeah. So, anyone can easily reach out to them and then like, tell them what they want to do. And then, they will have the itinerary set.
Right.
Like they will, find a place where it's needed first. And then, they'll scout the villages, like, who are like deprived of such health, benefits. And then, they will come up with a plan. If I'm here, I will always be more than happy to join them. But if it's without me too, they will always find a way to do it. Yeah. And, so while we are scouting the, villages, so they will gather all the information about like what kind of, at least like the most common problems we encounter in these villages. And then we'll set our medication according to it. We could run some tests, we could do some ECG and then, everything. So we could do it in a, bigger scale. Like we could take some medical equipment and like, do basic lab exams too. It's that simple.
Right.
Yes, that's simple.
Right.
So, like many people can just, give a call to these guys and then they have done it like multiple times before. So it's not something new to them. So, they will just, plan everything. Just like, they did plan this, right?
Exactly.
So it was smooth. It was, right? So
it was smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth. Yeah.
It was smooth because of all the work and planning that went into it months and months and months before anyone ever set foot in one of those trucks.
Yeah. Like,
to get up the hill.
Yeah. Like Sanjay went there on a bike, like, 4 or 5 months back. And then like he's been in touch with those guys every single day to make it, as comfortable as possible for you guys too. Yeah. And then, and as, bigger experience, for you guys to take, Right. Yeah. So, these are the go-to guys for me, I guess. So they will figure out and then we'll make it happen just like that.
And I understand you're all friends too.
Right.
I was telling you the other night that it is apparent that you're kindred spirits in a sense.
Yeah.
You have the same values. Right. You have the same mission.
Exactly.
You have the same work to be done. And no matter what comes in your way, you're going to make it happen.
Sure.
And I was told the other night by one of you, we've done it before and we're going to do it again. Right. And so give
like
power
without,
with or without. Exactly.
With or without.
With or without.
Yeah.
Give power. There's a big mission at hand. There's a big task around the world. Right. And so balancing, the importance of the missions depending on our location and what village we can get to and the cost, the politics, the challenges, the logistics, the food, all the happenings that have to take place in order for it to happen are just incredible. I mean, the effort is huge, right? Yeah. And the impact, I think, we could do a better job of measuring that impact in terms of generational change.
Yeah.
So what we're doing for these kids isn't going to last a year or 2 or 3,
Yeah, sure.
just like all of us, you included, Doc, we're not going to forget this for the rest of our
Sure,
days.
sure.
Never,
Yeah.
ever. We're
Yeah.
going to forget this moment.
It's an
in time.
everlasting experience.
An everlasting experience. Yeah.
For all of us, like even for Dusty and Sunday, they
Of
have
course.
done this like 20, 30 times the whole year. But then
Yeah.
they keep on telling me like every village is different,
Yeah.
the impact we have in every different communities is a whole lot different.
Mhm.
And then, it does make sense,
Yeah.
because it never gets boring, like
It doesn't.
it's
There was not a dull second,
yeah, no,
let alone
no.
moment.
Right,
man.
right. So that's how they take these things and then like Sunday always says like, oh, I thrive on things like these. I thrive on things like these, and then
Yeah.
he does. So
Yeah.
because he has like done amazing things like without anybody's support.
Sure.
Yeah. So when GivePower, came in contact with them and then like, it was like a calling, like it was meant to be. It
Yeah.
was destined. Like GivePower was destined to meet these guys,
Sure.
and then
Providence.
yeah, and then everything came out to be like a perfect combination.
Mhm.
Yeah, they want to do something, and then like they came to be in touch with these guys who were already doing things, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a big entity,
Mhm.
like it, like you said, there's a lot of politics, it's like,
Sure.
like we are trying to help, but we need money, it all
Of
comes down
course,
to
yeah.
cost, right? Because everybody's like
Absolutely.
cutting their profits from their company and everything, and then like
Right.
trying to, help the villages around here, right? So
Yeah.
there are a lot of, fine details which are important to, whoever is trying to contribute, right?
Yep.
But then, they are like, getting out of that zone, like for like couple of, grand, for us,
Yeah.
means nothing, but it means generations to those people. So like, why not like make it happen, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a good,
Yeah.
point to start, I guess,
Sure.
right?
It is a good point to start.
Yeah.
And sharing the experience and that may come later for a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I shared with you about Ella, right?
Right. Yeah.
My love for you can't be captured in words.
Yeah.
And there's no way that I can capture this moment in a picture
Right.
or a video.
Right.
It just doesn't happen
No.
because it's a human connection.
Right.
That human connection is what is lasting,
Mhm.
I think. And it's really special to see, Doc.
Right.
Your heart and your soul toward the effort is very inspiring.
Right. Right.
And so
Thank you.
better than getting any donation of monetary value, you want to share that
Yeah.
experience, that heartfelt
Yeah.
emotion
Exactly.
about what the change really
Yeah.
means.
But at the end of the day, that's all counts, like on
Right.
a personal level, at least, right? Like not on a corporate level, but like
Right.
if you think, as a person,
Right.
that's all like most of the folks would want to do,
Sure.
like trying to give back to the society, but at the end, you take way more than what you gave, I guess.
You do. Yeah.
Right?
You do.
So
You do.
actually,
I know
we
you
are the
did.
manufacturer.
I know
guess.
you did.
Yeah, we are.
And
the
I did
manufacturer.
too.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
right.
are the manufacturer, no matter
Exactly.
how much we talk like, oh, we
Yeah.
did this and that, but at the end of the day, it looks like we got a lot out of them.
And using that as a pebble in the pond.
Right.
So using the experience that you had,
Yeah.
Doc, and that I did as myself,
Right.
to share with the people who know me and
Yeah.
know my heart. There's
Right.
a lot of people who know your heart,
Exactly.
and they can't wait to hear about the experience that you had
Yeah.
because of the impact you made.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's a really special thing to share. So with that said, let's talk about you
Mm-hmm.
as an example. Okay. I want to hear. Yeah. We'll have more tea on that one. I am very, affected and inspired and changed as a person by, what you said to me the other day, which was something of the nature that you're going to do this, as you've said about your buddies, your friends.
Yeah.
I understand you grew up together,
Right.
right? And you're on the same mission, right?
Right.
In fact, you live with some of them,
I mean, we see each other almost every day.
Every day.
Yeah, like it's every day.
Yeah.
Not just almost, it's
but
every
not
day.
every day do you go up there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we meet for a cup of tea and then like, but most of our, conversations are roaming around these ideas, like, okay, like what's next, like it's everything. There's, no more programs, for the next year. Like, like you have to make a living too, like what's next? I mean, like this is all we do all the time.
Yeah.
This is all we talk about all the time. This is all we know
Right.
And then like, how are we, cause we can't rely on somebody else for the rest of our lives.
No.
What if like, okay, what if GivePower, like cancels everything, like, in Nepal, then what are they going to do? They like, we have to figure out something, like even with or without them, like if you want to continue doing this, like find a way, find a solution that you don't have to be dependent on anybody,
right?
But you can still continue the good work, try to change the, life of the people in the communities, different communities, be it in Nepal or in India or across the world, right?
Yeah.
So that's what like we've been talking about a lot recently. And then like, yeah, these guys has a couple of great ideas, like they are currently working on, and then, just keep going, despite of the obstacles.
Keep the trajectory.
Yeah. Keep
the momentum.
Yeah. Then everything, everything will fall in one place, right?
And you hit on a good point there, man, because different resources are going to present themselves at different times.
Right.
So you're going to have a lot of money at one point and not know what to do with it, maybe. And then other times you're going to have a lot of volunteers and time that you're like, well, we don't have enough for you to do. Right. So it's about that balance. And I think, when it comes to the GivePower side and all the organizations that support the effort.
Exactly.
Everyone who's doing that, we need to find a way to articulate the need.
Yeah.
And we need to find a way to define the impact.
Yeah.
So that's a difficult thing to do when it's an emotional thing.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to do when it's lives and not just a thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a thing here.
Yeah.
We're talking about human beings.
Yeah.
And it takes human beings to affect human beings.
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
Exactly.
and meeting you all and becoming your brother in this moment, in this time has been incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tricky situation because, you can't measure this in numbers,
No, you can't.
Yeah.
There's no data that
it would
can
be
back
so
up.
easy.
Right.
It would be so easy, like, to tell people, to tell everyone, like,
sure.
Okay, these many numbers, these many stats and everything, because it's all about numbers these days, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So
well, and that's why maybe there's a risk for different efforts.
Yeah.
Excuse me, is because that's how we define things as human beings, is the effect.
Yeah.
Or in this case, the word we use, the impact.
Yeah.
Right. But it's undefinable.
Right.
It really is undefinable, because I can guarantee you that some of those girls that we impacted, that we met with and played with and danced with and partied with, that they gave us blessings and we gave them blessings, and it was a mutual just understanding of goodwill. Right. It's goodwill, right? Mm-hmm. You can't, there's no dictionary word for how to define the impact.
No,
there really isn't.
No way.
And it's so long lasting.
Right.
So in terms of your next steps, because I think that you would be humbled to hear this, and it may be difficult for you to hear what I'm about to say. Okay.
Sure.
But, your value and your contribution to the effort that we just had was, most impacting to the hope of those people, that there are doctors like you, that there are crazy Americans like us who are going to come up and make change and do good.
Right.
And, in moments, it's It's selfish. It's valuable for us, and we send pictures to our family and loved ones, and can you believe this is I'm on top of the world? It's amazing. But at the end of the day, at the end of each day that we were up there, I can guarantee that you had the same feeling about processing what just happened in that day. Right. So how do I make a clone of you? How do we put you in a factory and make more of you? Right. That's what I want to know is your heart and soul and spirit toward the effort is so genuine and so true that we need to duplicate the effort, right?
The same goes with you guys. Like we need more clones of you guys, like, all over the place, all over the world, so that, we could make this a better place than we, So.
Well, I think what we're doing here now, it's a good start, I guess.
It is a good start.
Yeah. Right? Let people hear it. Yeah. Let people hear what we have to say about the experience and hopefully there will be some motivation for them to do even a little bit. Yeah. Right. Or
you can just be a part of such experiences in the coming future. Right?
I'm going to say this, the support of family and friends and loved ones, in my own life, my personal life. Yeah. As I mentioned before, my kids said, you can't not go. Yeah. Right. For them to think about what it is that we're doing and the effect and change that we have on the world is in itself, those are those ripples, right? And as Carly said, when we talked about poverty last night, I think it was the book she mentioned was The Power of a Pencil. Yeah. It can be as simple as a pencil for these folks, for these children, to because they can then write thoughts and they can learn things and they can work through on paper, but they need a pencil to do it. Right. And those pencils are, we say in the States, a dime a dozen. I mean, it's like they're on the floor, they're on the ground. Everybody has all of these things that are life changing to other folks on literally the other side of the world. For me,
definitely.
Another thing I want to mention is you're getting to the States here, right? In a couple of months?
Couple of weeks.
Oh, a couple of weeks. Tell me about that. Like what, I mean, you already have, but for the sake of everybody else, right?
Because I am trying to get into American medical system for my residency.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be there for my one of my tests that I have to complete before doing my residency.
Okay.
And so that's the whole purpose of it for now. But then, because we've been talking about impacting the communities, impacting the underprivileged communities and everything, and then like it might sound a little orthodox for me to like pursue my career over there.
Well,
it might though.
But those who know you know your heart. So,
I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing if you want to learn something like from the best institution available in the world.
Right.
The institution were, constantly like working on new ideas, try to make people's lives better and everything, right? So I would like to be a part of that, I might be able to contribute in a whole bigger level. Like, I could go to a community, see 60 patients and then like, heal them or something like that. But I would be able to contribute to the whole world, if I am, there, right? Because it's because everything that's happening in the, medical field, like half of them that starts in America, I guess. So I could be a part of a bigger plan, try to help the whole, the human race rather than just a community, right? So, it's part of a bigger plan. Right. Hopefully, I will get to it, and then hopefully everything turns out as I hope, I guess.
Well, what I've noticed,
I'm working towards it, though.
I know you are. You're working hard, man, and the deep appreciation is hard to capture in words or feelings.
Yeah,
but what I understand about you and I admire is that you're also a teacher.
Yeah.
You're a mentor.
Mm.
You're guiding and leading in your example,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that you live your life and the outlook that you have and the impact that you're making is incredibly inspirational and impactful for anyone who witnesses it.
Mm-hmm.
Truly. So like we were talking before about the pebble in the pond, right?
Yeah.
And the ripples. You are inspiring doctors. And those students, girls and boys that are seeing what you're doing, they want to be like you.
Well, I hope
when
so.
they grow up. Yeah. Well, I can tell you 100%. I want to be like you, man. For sure.
Well, that's humbling. Cheers to that.
Yeah. Cheers to that. No, it's a really special thing to see. And, we're honored to be a part of it. And, and as we've mentioned already, there are challenges that we'll have to work through and overcome.
Yeah, we will. I mean, we always do.
We will.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
we always do, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got to. I mean, because otherwise what?
Otherwise what?
Otherwise we just sit back and watch all of it happen and come to demise. No, it's not going to go that way.
I mean, I don't think that's what we are here for.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
We're here to make an impact, do something good, and then leave a mark, eventually when you go, when you go away, I guess. So.
Well, and you touch on a good point there with the impact, because the impact is important to the livelihoods that these efforts provide for the teams that make it all happen.
Right.
I was talking to a few people this morning about, this isn't about a week.
Yeah.
This is about months and months and years of training and preparation.
Right.
And we had to haul all that stuff up there before we got there.
Yeah.
So it would be ready for us so that when we got there, we could do it.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So you're saying earlier, it happened in record time. And that may be a window of time that we got it done, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But getting it done takes so much more than what is seen in the moment.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. The ground crew were like days ahead there, and then like they're making sure like everything is in place so that we could just go and fix. Yeah. Right. Basically.
Flip it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work. Of course.
Still,
there was still a lot. I mean, we worked hard to get all that up there, blood, sweat, and tears, really. Right. There was all of it. You had to help, right? You were in those moments. And it just doesn't represent in the moment that we got it done, what effort it took to do it.
Yeah. Without realizing that.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
You've got to take the whole picture in.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
So that's really special.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a team effort. Like there are so many, like-minded people with good intentions,
right.
who are currently in this team. So cause, I think it's, Queen who didn't have ginger, onions and everything.
Yes.
And then, somebody forgot to, mention that to the safes the first day. Cause, I think you guys, mentioned that in your, orientation and everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then somehow it, got lost in,
as things happen. One of the challenges, right?
And then, and then like every time we have there's curry without onions and then like there's soup without onions and gingers and everything, right? So they make sure, the kitchen crew are great. Yeah. They were fantastic.
My gosh.
Totally
they worked so hard all day long. They wouldn't stop. Right. I mean, cause they got to make breakfast. So that means they have to wake up before everybody else. Then they're probably making lunch before they're done with breakfast. Yeah. And then there's dinner. And dinner's the big one.
And then there's they are constantly preparing tea for everybody.
Cleaning everything. Right? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're right. They probably worked harder than any of us. I mean, they're just constant.
Yeah. And then it's a big challenge because, they expect people to eat, so that you have to prepare a decent meal for people to eat. And then, it's a great responsibility. You don't want people participants to sleep hungry, right?
For sure.
So, yeah.
Well, and I think that speaks to, the same as what you and the other guides and leaders, I would say, you know, of course, there are a few leaders, and we can lead as we serve.
Yeah,
we can lead as we serve.
so
Just in the example, just in the voice that we have, in the moment that we have it, to make that impact, right? Which is unmeasurable.
yeah,
We can't measure what that's going to look like.
right,
And I do know that GivePower, the heart and soul behind GivePower, there are so many people who are connected in a deep and meaningful way to the mission that is happening, that they keep silent.
yeah,
They're not out there advertising like, look at all the good that I'm doing. Look at how wonderful I am. You know, that's not what it's about. What it's about is those quiet moments where change happens.
right,
And where, you know, we saw this trek, we saw kids mind open. And I shared this with you the other night and with some other friends, right?
yeah,
Einstein said,
yeah,
when the mind, and I would add the heart, when the mind opens up to a new idea, it never goes back to its original size.
right,
And so for these kids, children, and how adorable they were, of course, holding each other, playing with each other.
yeah,
Their smiles are so big. I mean, it's their whole face is smiling, right?
right,
And we had the opportunity to open them up to their heart and their mind to a new idea.
yeah,
And it will never go back to the small size it was.
Right,
It
right,
just
right.
expands. It gets bigger with the new experiences that they have.
right,
And it's all about goodwill.
right,
You know, I do good for you, not to get anything back,
sure,
but then it motivates the other person on the other side to do good for the other. And all of a sudden, a lot of people on this trek have noticed how the driving is chaotic.
yeah,
The roads are chaotic, but people only honk when they're just letting you know, like honk, honk, but they're letting you know that, hey, I'm coming.
yeah.
You know, they're not flipping each other off.
Dana
I think it was Dana who said it.
Dana
right?
was spot on with this.
She
one,
was
right?
spot on. Yeah. It's like the attitude there is one of grace,
Yeah,
and grace meaning a gift that nobody asked for.
yeah,
And there's no way the roads could work here if people were selfish.
yeah, no way.
There's no way. It would be crashes all over the place. Get out of my way.
Yeah,
I'm going to get there.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
it's like, okay, you know,
I go first,
we're going to all make it happen.
Yeah,
we got to do this together.
yeah.
And
then every now and then they're like school kids crossing the highway.
Well, on the way
everything.
back up the hill, bro, there was a biker who he probably was a tourist who just jetted right out in front of our 4x4.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had to brake really fast.
Oh, really?
And I thought someone was going to get hurt, if not worse. Right. But it was like, okay, well, you're in front of me now. I'm here. Doot, 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 you know? And then you have these Americans in the car who just like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Right.
But I think that, that speaks to, how we approach this.
Yeah.
Because learning about, all the impacts of our bad decisions as a human race.
Right.
And what we're doing to the environment and the world. And politics aside, we can all agree to disagree that there's politics involved in any decision that we make about climate change or global warming or whatever it was 15, 20 years ago. There's always discussion about what's being impacted, what's being changed, what we're doing that's hurting
the planet Earth.
Right.
You know?
And where I come from, you know, with my faith is take dominion. In other words, take care. Take care of the world that we were given.
All right.
Right? We've been given this world to live in and take care of.
Yeah.
This world it will take care of us until it can't.
Right.
With the impact and change and damage that we're doing to the world.
Right. I mean, you saw the live example when we were, you know,
Yes,
going to Helambu on the way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's climate change, some glacier burst out, and then like
flash flood, right?
Flash flood, and
then
like
a whole community is
wiped out, right? So nature always finds a way, I guess. You know, if we are not treating it right, it will get back at us,
right?
For sure.
Well, and that's the thing is we've got to adjust our thought process
Yeah.
about how we solve problems,
Right.
so that we don't create more problems.
Right.
Right?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because really, I mean, every flutter of a butterfly, they call it the butterfly effect. Every flutter of a butterfly, one flutter of its wings can create a tsunami.
All right.
Because that's the universe that is, and the world we were born in.
Right.
Was that everything has an effect.
Right.
So to think to myself, okay, next time I swallow an ibuprofen or an antihistamine for my needs, I'm going to remember that there are people on top of that mountain who have no way to get to it.
Right. Right.
And no way for it to get to them.
Yeah.
Other than people knowing the possibility of goodwill that is there for us to take.
Right.
We can take those opportunities. We can take those chances. Getting here was difficult for me and a lot of other folks. We got to figure out our personal life.
Right.
I mean, you had patients that couldn't see you while you were up there.
Right.
That you had to say, hey, listen, I love you. And I know that I'm caring for you and you're going to be okay. But I have something, I've got to climb this mountain to do this thing.
Right.
and everyone's going to be okay with it.
Right. Yeah.
And so making sacrifices, I think, is part of that cycle of change, right?
We even if you want to avoid it, you are always going that road, you are making sacrifices in one or other way. Like every decision you make, there's sacrifices involved, and then that decision that you made had a lot of consequences in everybody's, everybody's life, who is going to watch the kids,
Exactly.
I won't be able to check my emails for like a couple of like next week.
I might lose a contract. I might lose a deal that, work is going to be ticked off when I get back. And we got a lot to do when I return, but
exactly.
Hey, let's get to it. Let's get to the work. And it should be painful. Life is painted with pain.
Right.
Fire refines, as they say. And so there should be a little bit of sacrifice to be made on everyone's end.
Right.
For that impact to really be true.
Right.
I think. And these are the kinds of treks and missions, however you want to define it, that are important for us to expand into a new idea. Right. Into a new way of thinking. Right.
Right.
And to spread that message to the world, regardless of race, religion, sex, anything. There's nothing. We're all human.
Right.
We're all just human beings, and we're all here on the same face of it.
Right.
This earth.
Right.
And we should take care of it and not damage it. And in fact, do as much of the repair that we are humanly able to do.
Right.
Even if it means just a week and a half away from my kids and my dog and my family and my girlfriend,
You can take them with you all the.
And sure, there are some of us who will return.
Right.
I love Robbie's shirt yesterday when we were coming back. It said, Nepal, and I think it had Yeti on there, and it said, once is not enough.
Oh, really? That's
and once is not enough, man.
Yeah.
Once is not enough.
Once should never be enough.
No.
Like to anything,
Yeah.
It's
been a pleasure to get to know you and I look forward to you coming to visit me in California for a couple of weeks.
Hopefully. Yeah,
absolutely. Hopefully. Yeah. In a couple of weeks. And then there are others who have other challenges just to even get there. Right. So then we expand the network and we call upon friends and family and trusted souls to make that effort happen.
Sure.
But when I say this, I mean it. You will and forever will always be a brother to me.
Sure. Yeah. That means a lot. That's so humbling. But yeah, I'm going to have a great time with you guys.
Of course.
Yeah. Meeting your parents, kids, your partner.
Yes. Yeah. Soon to be what?
Yeah. Soon to be wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said like a couple of days back.
Yes.
and
never mind. And what you signed on, you signed on the back of my picture, right?
Right.
No, but, it's about that human connection.
Yeah.
Understanding. So I will tell you this to wrap things up, right?
Sure.
everyone who's been here, including you and Dusty and Robbie and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you know, all the names of all the people, there are many. We're going to go away with a new understanding of humanity. We're going to live our lives in a different way from this day forward, understanding what it is that just happened and the impact. I mean, that word is like, it kind of feels buzzy, right? I mean, we're buzzing it. But it's something to think about. What are those ripples that we're making, and what kind of pencils can we drop? To borrow Dana and Carly's examples of poverty, right? That's important for us to do. And you are an inspiration in that effort. And I would call upon anyone who would be able and willing to listen to that call to help you, because your mission is large and your impact is insurmountably huge and indescribably massive. Again, for generations, those children's children will be affected by the simple fact that you made time to do what you did.
Yeah. So, can't thank you guys enough. Like on behalf of all the GivePower team, though I'm not a part of I'm not involved with GivePower in any ways, but I would,
you are here.
Yeah. But I would like to, be thankful from, the team in the Nepal side, like all the kitchen crews, ground staff, Ramesh, Seru, Dusty, Rabi, Sanjay, Lukesh, and everything. And everyone. So, Subhadra Didi, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, thank you so much, guys. You did, you did great job. And then, it was an experience. It was so humbling experience to meet all of you guys, and then to meet you, and then like to connect with you on this level. We
this kind of
brothers,
happened,
right?
Huh?
So it's brothers, right? It's brothers. So and to be able to do this, like it's my first time, it's your first time.
Yes.
In my place, it is a great experience. It will be
in your front yard and gorgeous background. Having a conversation about what we just did is just incredible.
It's incredible. So so this is gonna like live until we are alive, at least, right?
I think so.
This moment,
I think so.
At least because it's captured.
Yeah,
it's captured pretty well, I guess.
I think. Well, this guy. I wish we could get the cameras on him so they could see. Oh, this guy.
He's been doing behind the scenes, right?
Well, what happens with a guy like that is his heart and soul and his passion walks before him. It's like all of that is like, get out of my way. This guy, this human being has something to do.
Right.
Right. And so that energy and that power is
hopefully we were able to reflect some of his energy.
Of course.
In this.
Of course. Absolutely.
He did everything here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no way we could do this without him.
Sure.
So here you and I are sitting and other people don't see this guy in the background. But everything's
happening just because he's here,
right.
I guess, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. Thanks so much, Jake.
Hey, thank you, Doc.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
All right.
Thanks, Dusty.
Thanks, guys. So good.
Perfect.
So good. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.